Hi, my name is Heather Bartlett, and I'm a second grade teacher at Antelope Elementary School in Red Bluff, California. And I'm applying for this grant so that I can get some art supplies in the hands of my students. This year, I actually have 80 second graders that come to me because we recently departmentalized, so the students rotate through three second grade classrooms, and we have a really high population of English language learners. So, one of the things I love to do is incorporate art into all of our subjects because art kind of knows no language bounds. We have a program called Arts Attack where we have these preset art plans so that our art projects align with Common Core art standards, but we don't always have the material. We need oil pastels, watercolors, acrylics, tons of construction paper and glue, and without a budget for that, a lot of that we have to just pay out of pocket. So a grant would really help us to buy the supplies so we could actually use all of these art projects to their full capability. Also, I teach a lot of math to second grade, and I would love to create some art projects showing them that math is really in everything, patterns in nature, all around us, because sometimes math for second graders isn't the most interesting subject, but when you can incorporate art into it, I think it makes it a little more livelier for those students.
My school has half of the students are, or more than half, have free and reduced lunch. So we are a Title I school, and there's limited technology and limited funding. And so any chance I can get to help them increase their knowledge in any way that I can, I am always on it. I would use this project for just drawing and creating art. I found that when we do writing projects, they love to connect a directed drawing or a craft. It helps them to connect the learning. We do a lot of writing across the subject areas because of Common Core. And because of that, they like to do charts and graphs and thinking maps and different things to connect the learning. But of course, it always looks better in color. So my plans are to use crayons and markers and paint and color paper in any kind of way that I can make this come alive. This happens in science when they have to explain, making a display or making a visual, in math, in social studies, and of course in reading and writing. We are always reading and writing and thinking in color, and art is a great way to connect our thinking processes.
The reason I am requesting money to be used in my classroom is because I want to change that STEM and change it to STEAM by adding the arts infusion to each project. So for example, we have a solar system project coming up, and I would love to be able to have the kids make paper mache planets and be able to do a gallery walk and show them that STEM is not just building things, it also has that design aspect to it. And I think they'll have a lot of fun being creative and learning a lot throughout the project. I just really would love to have some additional funds to be able to really focus on that arts part of STEAM, and especially the planning and design, and to be able to see their creativity come to life.
I would very much like to have some grant money from Adopt a Classroom to help my students get hooked on crochet, and I think it would be very beneficial to them. So many of them come from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and they have a lot of stress, and it would be a really good stress reliever and a life skill that they could take with them. About half of our student population is on free or reduced lunch, so that kind of gives you an idea. We struggle with test scores, and creativity is something that's very important to them to kind of give them a break from the pressure. So I hope you consider this. Thank you very much.
The challenge of having a new art room is we don't have a lot of art supplies. Most of what I have in here is our startup, is teachers' old supplies. I went through their cabinets and their closets, and they just gave me their old stuff, and that's kind of what our starting point is here. So one reason why I'm applying for the OOLY Art Fund is so that we can get some of the materials that we don't have. Materials like clay and the materials we need for printing and ink. The other reason we're applying for this grant is because I know how excited the kids would be if they received support from other people who are excited about their passions. Now, some of the projects that we would love to use this funding for would be to a unit on plants and fossils, And then also as teaching in history, I would love to be able to show them how printing presses were made and the whole process behind that. So, as an art project, I'd love to be able to take clay and be able to take leaves and show the imprints of those, and the students learn how leaves change color, and then apply that as they artistically paint the leaves that they've been able to make out of clay. And then also with the printmaking, learn how printing presses work, and then even how in some of the ancient civilizations they were able to use block print. So we would need about a total of $960 to be able to buy 300 pounds of clay, to be able to buy the brayers, the printing ink, the inking plates. Now I know that is a lot of consumable material, but even some of those things we could keep and use in future years. So we would be totally pumped if we could receive some of this funding. I hope to hear back from you all, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity.